At James Follows, at Leader Connell, at Senate Madrid just for the historical record after the Sandy Hook Newtown shootings of back 2012. At Leader Connell led the Senate filibuster that kept gun control measures from coming to vote.
Unfortunately, weather is going to be inside, but it's cold inside, and we've been freezing all morning in this studio. But do you hear it's going to get warmer?
I know it's supposed to get up to 70 today, which is wild. I feel like just yesterday we had snow on campus.
Yes, I know, right? And I'm from Philadelphia, so my parents are home, and they're like, "It's going to be cold this weekend." I'm like, "It's going to be hot here." Like, yeah.
I'm excited.
So Carly is in the studio. Carly, is outside.
Thanks, Caroline and Megan. Now, today is a great day to be walking to class because we do have a high of 76, so it is a warmer day. Now, there are some clouds in the sky, but that sun is trying to peek through, which is nice. Now, heading into that Phoenix 5-day forecast on Friday, we are heading into some rain, so you're definitely going to want to grab a jacket. But the temperature is staying pretty warm with a high of 75. On Saturday, the rain continues, so you're going to want to keep that rain jacket. And we're going to have a high of 42, so it is getting a little bit colder. Heading in on Sunday, we're leaving the rain. It's going to be some partly cloudy skies with a high of 62, so the temperature is starting to go back up. On Monday, we are going to have some morning showers, so as you wake up, you want to plan accordingly for that with a high of 66. And on Tuesday, we're going back up to the 70s with a high of 72, and we are going to have some clouds in the sky. Now, as you plan for the weekend, you're going to want to plan accordingly because there is some rain. So be sure to grab that rain jacket and those rain boots if your plans are outside.
Florida school shooter charged with 17 counts of murder. News DW 15:2.2018.
Thanks, Carly.
1 in 6 children living in war zones. Stable children says News DW 15:2.2018.
Çarşamba günü Florida'da bir lisede düzenlenen silahlı saldırıya ilişkin açıklamalarda bulundu.
South Africa turns away from organization. News DW 15:2.2018.
Amerikalı dostlarım, bugün üzüntülü bir ulusa konuşuyorum. Yönetimimiz saldırıyı araştırmak için yerel yöneticilerle yakın işbirliği içerisinde çalışıyor ve öğrenebileceğimiz her şeyi öğrenmek istiyoruz. Okullarımızın güvenliğini sağlamak ve ruhsal hastalık gibi zor sorunları çözmek için eyalet ve yerel yetkililerle çalışmaya da kararlıyız diye konuştu. Saldırıda 17 kişinin hayatını kaybettiğini, 14 kişinin de yaralandığını belirten Başkan Trump, Amerika'da okullarda hiçbir öğrenci ve öğretmenin kendini tehlikede hissetmemesi gerektiğini de dile getirdi. Bu arada Beyaz Saray'daki Amerikan bayrağı da yarıya indirildi.
According to Elon's gender and LGBTQIA
News and current affairs from Germany and around the world. DW
don't identify as straight. Our Rachel Ellis spoke with a few students about Valentine's Day as part of the LGBTQIA community.
A poem. I felt deeper.
I wonder how deep I can go.
A token of affection, one which freshman
market correction, just do what Warren Buffett does, says one investor.
Doesn't take lightly.
I take a lot of pride in knowing that I am in a relationship with another woman, so we have complete freedom to be as extra as we want.
Figueroa loves love, making Valentine's Day what she says one of the best days
New York
of the
prosecutor
year
sues Harvey Weinstein's studio ahead of reported sale. News DW 12.2018.
I think it's a great day, and it's about love, and no matter what, you should just, people should express their love for each other in whatever way they want.
Growing up, Figueroa says she felt accepted by her peers, but not always by her parents.
They say, like, oh, who's your friend? And I have to correct them and say, oh, no, that's my girlfriend.
Director of the LGBTQIA Center, Matthew Antonio Bosch, declined an on-camera interview with Elon News Network, but told ENN, quote, many of our students felt that Valentine's Day is fine and is not sort of against what any of them think.
Sports thriving North Korea despite sanctions.
On Elon's campus isn't always easy, especially around Valentine's Day.
And so I've walked around campus like with her, and I make sure to not say certain things or not do certain things or not look at her a certain way in front of certain people. Which is disheartening.
Freshman Jazz Harris and Tiana Lynn, who have been dating for almost 6 months, celebrated their first Valentine's Day as a couple this year. Lynn identifies with they-them pronouns and says seeing him and her gifts sold in stores is disappointing.
You're never gonna see them.
Number of crypto hedge funds soars amid Bitcoin volatility.
Anything, so I don't know. That's just something, and I'm just like, okay, well, and it's kind of, it kind of sucks a little bit.
But beyond
Deeply talks the future of Syria's female Syria deeply.
As a gay couple on Elon's campus, as well as by their families.
Will robots need search warrants? Alex Jones info hours. There is a warrant for your mind.
ELN Morning.
For more information on Elon's gender LGBTQIA Center, visit room 211 in upstairs Mosley.
A plan that's been in the works for years has officially been approved. I took a look at the changes.
Islamic State sympathizers go on trial in Berlin. News DW 15.2018.
Elon Elementary School is moving. On Tuesday night, the Elon Board of Aldermen approved a special use permit to start construction on a new elementary school. The new school will be built on Walker Road, less than 2 miles away, on land the university already owns. A town ordinance requires a special permit due to the building size. According to Vice President of Communications Dan Anderson, the university is paying around $20
George Soros fund buys stock of cryptocurrency playovers.com
for the land where it stands now.
The return on the investment is having the facilities for the students of the future to go to the institutions.
Anderson says adding this property is a part of the university's master plan. Expansions include academic buildings, more parking, and residence halls.
Right now, we don't have enough student housing to handle the demand by students. So, the master plan envisions an Elon of bigger size a decade from now.
And blueprints are
Bitcoin tops $10,200 as cryptocurrencies extend rally.
Modeled after this school in Greensboro. Board of Aldermen member Emily
Germany.
Sharp
Martin Schulz steps down as SPD head. News DW 13.2018.
As a parent of a child who will go to kindergarten in the second year of the new school, I'm really excited for this opportunity for my community.
Both Anderson and Sharp agree that decreasing traffic on East Haggard Avenue by moving the school is in the best interest for university and
Barack and Michelle Obama portraits unveiled in Washington. News DW 12.2018.
A couple of hours. So we definitely see it as a safer environment, not just for university students, but of course for our elementary school students and staff as well.
As for other Elon parents,
I should have done it years ago.
World news breaking international news and headlines. Sky News.
Worried that the traffic's coming for them. To address that, a turning lane will be built in front of the school.
1, 2, 3 construction on the new.
Restructuring the state possible power sharing agreements for Syria deeply.
Elementary school is set to begin by April. The school plans to open its doors in fall of 2019.
President Donald Trump entered office with a crystal-clear vision of how to make America great again. A little more than 1 year into his first term, it's becoming readily apparent that his plan was right on the money. The economy is surging, more folks are working, paychecks are getting bigger, and companies actually want to do business on our shores again. No matter which way you slice it, those factors point to a successful execution of his agenda, and it's only getting better.
Weather
CNS
forecast world
News shares
local
another
weather report
example
online
of
Sky
that.
News.
The federal government this January ran a surplus while collecting record total
Carnival
tax
parades from
revenues
millions
for
across
that
Germany.
month
News
of the year,
DW12
according to the monthly
2.2018.
Treasury statement released today. January was the first month under the new tax law that President Donald Trump
Nicholas
signed
Cruz, what we
in
know
December.
about troubled Florida
A
shooting
surplus is
suspect.
pretty much unheard of in the world of the federal government, and it's impossible not to
Turkish
see that
court
as
denies
yet
German
another
ambassador
sign that
entry to
Trump's
Kurdish
plan
politician
is
as
working.
trial. News
There's still a ton of work that
42.2018.
needs to be done, but early returns on the president's
Yahoo Mail
agenda
3
are
email with 1000
incredibly
GB of
promising.
storage.
The $361,038 million in total taxes the Treasury collected this January was $11,747,870,000
Yahoo
more
Mail
than
3
the
email with 1000 GB of storage.
$349,290,130,000 that the Treasury collected in
What to watch from
January of last
Pyeongchang
year.
Olympics
In
on Day
December
6.
2017 adjusted using the Bureau of Labor Statistics inflation calculator. The Treasury not
Critical
only
patients
collected
in Eastern
record
Ghouta
taxes
used
in
as
the
bargaining
month of
chips. Syria
January
deeply.
itself, but has now collected record tax revenues for the first 4 months of a fiscal year, October through January. So far in fiscal 2018, the federal government has collected a record $1,130,550,000,000 in total taxes. The record may be exceeded in future months. More people working plus increased activity by companies equals more revenue for all. It's a pretty simple equation, and Trump has been hammering that point home since he threw his hat into the political arena. Much to the chagrin of critics, his policies are bearing fruit.
Hi, I'm Lucas Shaw and I cover the entertainment business for Bloomberg News in Los Angeles. The TV industry isn't dying, but it may finally be shrinking. Television advertising sales in the U.S. fell 7.8% last year to $61.8 billion, the steepest drop outside of a recession in at least 20 years. The decline hit all three parts of the TV business: national broadcast, local, and cable. 2018 isn't looking any better. Ad sales are projected to decline if you exclude cyclical events like the Olympics and the midterm elections. If you do include those events, ad sales will be down from 2014, the last time we had a Winter Olympics.
Florida school shooting suspect linked to white
This may not shock
supremacist group
those paying
idol.
close attention. Ratings have been in decline for years, right? Yes, but media companies have managed to extract higher ad rates even as viewership has fallen. The spot for a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl, for example, has more than doubled in the past 20 years. TV is finally succumbing to the forces that have weakened its other media brethren in publishing and radio. The number of people
Nicholas
paying for
Cruz,
live
the
TV
press
has
loan,
declined
you're
for
crazy
several
about guns.
quarters,
BBC News.
and advertisers are following the customer online, where social networks and streaming services command more and more of people's time. TV is still the best option for advertisers who want to reach a big audience all at once. But for media companies to have any chance of growing their share of overall advertising revenue, they'll need to prove they are better at targeting than Google and Facebook. Good luck. Thanks for listening. I'm Lucas Shaw reporting from Los Angeles. You can follow me on Twitter at Lucas_Shaw and get the latest updates at TikTok.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has been reaching out to South Korea out of fear the United States will launch a preemptive strike on his country. A former high-ranking official in the North Korean regime
the humanitarian crisis in Syria's northern de-escalation zone Syria deeply.
Ri Jong-ho, a North Korean defector who formerly worked for the regime,
Trumpist
was referring
infrastructure
to
plan
Kim's
threatens to leave
recent
little cities
willingness
behind
to
wire.
engage with South Korea over his country's participation in the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Last week, the North Korean leader sent his
Turkish PN
smiling
hopes German
younger
journalist
sister,
imprisoned for past year will be
to
free.
attend
Trans
the
24.
opening ceremony of the Games and invite South Korean President Moon Jae-in to Pyongyang. Ri Jong-ho spoke at a forum in Washington amid growing speculation about whether the current thaw in inter-Korean ties will lead to broader talks between the U.S. and North Korea on the regime's denuclearization. Kim Jong-un is afraid that the U.S. will launch a preventative, preemptive strike, and he is trying to buy time to complete
Peter
his
Thiel is
nuclear
reportedly
and missile
exiting
program,
Silicon Valley,
said Ri, who worked for 3 decades in Office 39 of the North's ruling Workers' Party. The office is responsible for raising funds for Kim. Samuel Chamberlain at Fox News reports that Ri spoke Wednesday in the wake of a 3-day visit to South Korea by Kim Yo-jong, Kim Jong-un's sister, during which she sat among world dignitaries, including Vice President Mike Pence, for the opening ceremonies at
I'm going back for more data. Wow, check out what's going on. FCC watchdog looks into hash changes that benefited Sinclair. The New York Times. I don't know what to think about this. Washington last April, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, Ajit Pai, led a charge for his agency to approve rules allowing television broadcasters to greatly increase the number of stations they own. A few weeks later, Sinclair Broadcasting announced a blockbuster $3.9 billion deal to buy Tribune Media deal those new rules made possible. By the end of the year, in a previously undisclosed move, the top internal watchdog for the FCC opened an investigation into whether Mr. Pai and his aides had improperly pushed for the rule changes and whether they had timed them to benefit Sinclair, according to Representative Frank Pallone of New Jersey and 2 congressional aides. For months I have been trying to get to the bottom of the allegations about Chairman Pai's relationship with Sinclair Broadcasting. Mr. Pallone, the top Democrat on the committee that oversees the FCC, said in a statement to the New York Times. I am grateful to the FCC's Inspector General that he has decided to take up this important investigation. It wasn't clear the extent of the Inspector General's investigation or when it might conclude, but the inquiry puts a spotlight on Mr. Pai's decisions and whether there had been coordination with the company. It may also force him to answer questions that he has so far avoided addressing in public. The inquiry could also add ammunition to arguments against the Sinclair Tribune deal. Public interest groups and Democratic lawmakers, including Mr. Pallone, are strongly opposed to the deal, arguing that it would reduce the number of voices in media and diminish coverage of local news.